Hello everyone, it's Simerie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my Sims in The Sims 3. I will show you all the mods and custom content I use and other tips and tricks that I find helpful. So yeah, let's just go ahead and hop right into it. Okay guys, so first things first, there are some important mods that you're going to need. Firstly, you're going to need NRAS Master Controller and NRAS Integrations. So NRAS Master Controller and Integrations add-on are both necessary so that we can change some of the settings. So you're going to want to come down to the options menu and right click over those three dots and it will bring up this menu. So the most important stuff in this section is the max sliders in CAS. You're going to want to change that to 10,000 and then also allow multiple accessories per location and multiple makeup per location. You also want to change the part sort order to custom at top and down at the bottom where it says slider multiple body and facial. I will always put those both on 2. Also in the category changes, there are some more helpful categories where you can use adult accessories and clothes for teenagers and elders. So if you're ever wondering how to do that. But that's all we need for this tutorial right now. Also, another mod that's really helpful is the stand still in CAS mod so that your sim isn't moving around and looking around while you are trying to edit their face. Also, the zoom in CAS mod is also really helpful because you can get super close up in their face and very helpful for detail. Then also the CAS lighting mod makes it brighter in CAS. All of those mods are super helpful. If you want an in-depth look at them, I have other create a sim videos I have done that are helpful with all of that stuff. So I'll leave those down below in the description. Moving right along, you're also going to want to download my sliders. I have a bunch of sliders I use that help me make my sims the way that they look. So definitely check out my sliders if you haven't yet. And of course my sliders will be linked down in the description below as well. So moving along, there are some default sims that I use to start with, and I think that makes the whole process of making sims a lot easier. So like 80% of the time I start with this girl right here, mainly because I love her jawline. Like she has a very like sharp and defined jawline and it's just really easy for me to start with her. If I don't start with her, lately I've been loving this sim as well. She has a really good jawline as well, just a nice facial structure, so I do like to start with her as well. Here and there I will also start with this sim too. She's a really good base. And this sim I do also start with sometimes, not as much as I used to. I used to start with her a lot, but I don't really use her as much as I used to. But I'm just going to go ahead and start with this girl because I start with her most of the time. So that is my girl. So first things first, I will usually pick a skin to use, and majority of the time I am using this skin called Reese by I actually don't know who it's by off the top of my head, but I use a skin named Reese, the default version, and I'll usually try to pick the skin tone, which it's really important to pick the skin tone before you do the makeup. I think I'm gonna go with the skin tone. Moving along, I like to go to the hair category, and I like to put the hair up out of their face. So I usually will put them in this hair or like a random bun hairstyle. Then I will also pick one of these colors to make their hair color. So usually I won't change the hair color yet to be like specific, just like have a close idea of what it's gonna be. And then next I will put on her eyebrows. So first I'll obviously press match root hair color, or match the hair color to the root hair color. And then there are two eyebrows that I usually will go for my sims. I will usually pick either these eyebrows that are straight like that, or I will pick these eyebrows that are a little bit messier. Let me make her eyebrows a little darker so it's easier to see. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go with these eyebrows because these eyebrows I do a little bit more with, and I kind of want to show you guys how I how I make them look how I like. But anyways, after that I will go to the looks section and I will go to the makeup and I will take all of her makeup off. All of it off. Yes. So that we can start with a bare face. Also, you guys, another thing I almost forgot to mention is that I have a mod that removes the EA eyelashes because we use custom eyelashes. So that's also really useful if you are curious. But moving on, I like to put the eye contacts on before I do anything, but these are my favorite contacts. These are the prettiest contacts I've ever seen. Really haven't found any other thing that I like more. So yeah, I just feel like the colors are so pretty. But let's go ahead and give her like greenish eyes. I love giving my Sims green eyes. And then I also have these custom teeth that I like to use, so I'm gonna just put those on. I have a whole bunch of different ones in here, some that have like gap teeth and like crooked teeth and all that jazz, so I like to do that. And then I like to go and start in the eye section. So usually I will just press this first like default blank eye, and that will be like a good starting point for me. So I'll go into the eye details and go to eye scale. And that will be the first thing I change, is I will make the eye scale smaller, like around 150-ish. Yeah, a little smaller, 150, 140. Then I will go ahead to the eye width and bring the eye width down. I like to have the eyes like kind of small like that. And then I'll come down a bit to the iris size and I will make the iris bigger. Like, I don't know why, I just love the way that that looks, where the iris is big, because I just love those contacts. And then I'll go ahead and rotate the eyes a bit, like maybe like that much. Yeah, I think that's good. And then I will go to the eyelid editor and I will bring the eyelid down just a tad bit, because if you guys can see, there's like a little darkness in the contacts. And I kind of like to hide it just a little bit, so I like to bring that down a bit. And then I will bring up the eyelid height, or technically I think it's bringing it down, but I will like do that just a tad bit. And then I'll go to the eyelid shape settings and I will bring up the eyelid height just a tad bit, like not that noticeable. And then I'll also bring up the inner eyelid, just a very tiny bit, like not that much. And then I'll go back to like the general eye section and I will bring the eye socket height down a bit, like that. And then I will go to the eyebrow section, bring the eyebrows down, not too much, because if you bring it down too much, I feel like it looks a little weird. I can do like that. And then I will go ahead and to go to the brow width inner and bring that up so that the brow is like a little bit longer, and bring out the width outer a little bit as well, just so that it feels like the eyebrows are like taking up more space, I guess. And then I am gonna bring them down a little bit more. We'll see how much I like that. I think I'm gonna bring them up. A lot of it is like, you know, going back and forth and like seeing what looks right and what you're actually going for or whatever. But moving on to the nose, so same with the eyes, I will click on the first one for the first preset because I really do like the first preset, and the nose is honestly one that I don't change that much. I will usually go to right to the edit nostril settings, and I will bring the nostril height down. And then I will go to the edit bridge and I will make the bridge, I'll usually make it a little wider, just a tad bit. And then I also want to bring the nose height down a little bit. And then I will usually bring the nose height up in the general section, bring the nose up a little bit, but we might change the nose up a little bit more depending on how the mouth is looking. And now onto the mouth section. I have these mouth presets all the way at the bottom that I use that are custom, so I will have those linked down below, but I usually will use the second one out of those as a starting point. And I will go to the general mouth section and go down to the mouth height, and I usually like to bring the mouth height down a bit, probably about that much. I'll also bring the mouth width up that amount, maybe. I think that looks pretty decent. And then I also like to bring the mouth definition just a tad bit up, because I like the top mouth to be, or the top lip to be, a little defined. And then I will turn the curve up just a little, doesn't have to be too much. And I think I'm gonna bring the mouth height down a little bit more, because sometimes it looks better when you turn the mouth curve up. But then I'll go to the upper lip settings, and I will go to the lip shape, and I will bring that up just a little bit. And then this middle upper lip width I can bring up a little bit as well, not too much, not too much. Then I like to go to the upper lip thickness, just bring it up a little bit, and then the upper lip up, we can actually bring that down. And then the upper lip width, I'm gonna bring that down a little bit too. It's like sometimes I want my Sims to have really big lips, and other times I want them to have like normal sized lips. It really just depends. And then the upper lip shape, we can bring that up a little bit. And then the upper lip corner width, I'm gonna bring that up a little bit too. And I'm actually gonna bring the mouth thickness down a little bit. Then we can go to the lower lip settings. I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom to the thin lower lip, and I like to bring this down and then turn the lower lip width up a little bit, just so the lips look a little juicier. And then I'm gonna turn the thickness down a little bit, like that. And then the shape, I'm gonna just keep like I know these are probably big lips to some people, but for me these are like smaller than what I'm used to, and I actually really like how these turned out. But I've been doing my lips like closer to this lately just because I like the look of them better. But that's it for the lips. And then for the jaw, or the face, so for the head, since I have this girl's head and I like it a lot, that's why I picked this sim. I usually go to the edit jaw settings first, and I will turn down the jaw width a little bit. The jaw shape is also really important. I will bring this up a little bit, and these are like the main two things that I tweak. It's kind of like you go by through eye basically. And then I'll go to the chin section, and I'm gonna bring the chin scale up just a tad bit, and then bring the chin height up, and then I'm gonna bring the chin scale down, bring the chin height up. Like, it's kind of like one of those things where you literally have to just keep looking until it looks right. And I will bring the chin height up a little bit, and then bring the chin scale just a tad bit up. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Let me see if I bring it down. No, I'm gonna keep it up like that. And then I will also go to this, I don't even know how to pronounce this, but it's all the way at the bottom, and I will just bring the that up a little bit to basically have like a more defined, like under the chin or whatever. And then let me just go back to the jaw width, and I will bring that down just a tad bit. And the jaw shape, yeah, bring that down like to that. And the jaw shape, I'll leave like that. And I think that is good. And then I'm also gonna bring the jaw width up a little bit just so her face looks a little bit more cohesive. And then I'll go to the general section for the head, and I will go to the head width, and I will just bring that down a tad bit. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good, pretty good. So now that we got the face structure down, we can go ahead to the makeup section. So first things first, I usually like to start off with this face mask, and this main color, it depends on like what skin tone your sim is. she's like kind of in the middle, so I'm just gonna make it a little bit darker. And then this right here is kind of like the highlighter. So since she is like a kind of darker skin tone, usually my darker or like olive, not olive, but like tanner, I guess, sims, browner, I will usually go for a more yellow color for this highlighter. But if they're a pale sim, I will go for a more white color, if that makes sense. And then the blush, I am gonna try to make like, you're not really gonna see it as much with the other makeup we put on, so I'm just gonna keep it at that. And I will bring the opacity down so it's not too harsh. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it down like that much. That should be good. Moving on, I like to use this nose mask. Where can I find it? I like to use this one. This is my favorite one, and luckily the other stuff I need is all right near it, so perfect. But yeah, this is my favorite nose mask. I will put it, it's kind of hard to find like the skin tone, but you kind of have to mess around with it so that it matches. So like the bottom number or the bottom color is actually what the whole color of the nose is going to be, so you kind of have to move around, but it doesn't have to be perfect, because if you turn down the opacity, it kind of like blends well. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to try to get it as close as possible. So that color looks pretty good. And then the middle color is the definition, I guess. So I like to bring it down a little bit so it's darker. And then this top color is just a highlighter. I like to match it a little bit, make it a little tan, I guess, I don't know. And then bring that down, the opacity down. And so that's where we're at right now. And then after that, I like to put on this this contour. So this is the contour I like to use, and it is very, very pretty. It kind of like brings everything together, I feel like. So of course this is gonna have to be adjusted depending on your sim's skin tone. She has a darker skin tone, so I'm gonna make it a little darker. I don't like it to be super harsh, but I still want it to be seen. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Maybe bring it down a little bit more, and that should be good. Then I also like to put on some highlighters. So I love this highlighter, like my favorites, honestly, obsessed. So I will usually make it, like I said, like kind of a yellowish color, like kind of like golden is what we're trying to go for, which I think looks better. And then you just bring the opacity down a little bit so it's not super duper harsh. So I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. And then I also like to put on this nose mask at the top of it. So this is another thing, you're gonna have to match the color, which in my opinion can be kind of hard, but you gotta do it. It gets better the more you do it, it gets easier, but I don't like it to be too harsh. So once I find like a color that's like slightly darker than their skin tone, I will bring the opacity down so that it's not super harsh. I'm gonna actually bring it down more, and I think that should be good. So yeah, moving on to the blush, there are two blushes that I like to use. So the first one is this blush right here that I think is so pretty. So usually with this one, you gotta make it a little darker like that, and that'll be super beautiful. I feel like I use this blush on my darker sims usually, and usually, not always, but usually I will use this blush for like my lighter skinned sims. And this one has 3 different like swatches, so you gotta like make sure it looks good, but sometimes it can be hard to like do it, to find like the right tones and everything, but it's kind of noticeable. I just feel like the other blush shows up better on darker skin, but this one still looks cute, and I'll usually bring the opacity down. So yeah. And I also forgot to mention there's another highlighter I do like to use as well, which is this one. Sometimes I'll even use both highlighters, and of course same deal, bring that down and bring it down. And yeah, I mean, I could keep both on, but it's not really necessary, but those are the two highlighters I like to use and the two blushes. I think for her, I'm just gonna go with this one because, like I said, I think this one looks better on my darker Sims. And I like to I don't like the blush to be too harsh. That's just my personal preference. So yeah, and then I'll just bring it down a bit, and I think that looks pretty good. Then I will move on to the mouth section. So there are a couple of lip glosses and lipsticks that I like to use. So I do love I love this one. I know it looks really crazy, but I love this lip combo, this lip gloss or lipstick, whatever. Super cute. I also love these. I've been using these a lot lately. I think that one's probably my favorite. There's a whole bunch, but those are also super cute. And then I also love this one. It is so pretty. They look crazy because the color's not adjusted, but those are definitely my favorites. I think I am gonna go with one of these lip glosses because I think that will look cute. And yeah, just turn it down a bit. Just try to find a color that kind of goes with it. I think that should be good. And then we'll turn down the opacity so that it's not super harsh. And then next I will go and put on this lip gloss on top of it so that it looks nice and glossy. Super cute. And then I will also put on these mouth corners, and the only color that matters is the middle one. The other two don't matter. So yeah, you can just darken it and then turn the opacity down a little, just a tad bit, so it's not too harsh. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do for her lip combo. And then moving on to the eyeshadows, there are two eyeshadows that I like to use. So the first one is either this one or this one. Either one, it just kind of depends on what I'm going for. This is more like a lighter eyeshadow, so I think I'm gonna go with that because I don't want it to be too much of a dramatic look. But either one I will use. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go with just a little darker colors for her and then bring it down so it's not too harsh. And then moving on to the eyeliner, I love to use this eyeliner. This is the only eyeliner I ever use. It is just so pretty to me. I love it so much. And then I use eyelashes from S Club. So I honestly pretty much always pick these because these are so pretty to me. And yeah, I'll usually go with that. And then I also have some other eyelashes I like to put on top that are in the accessories section, and it is these eyelashes. I will usually pick on the first one just because they're not too long or dramatic, but these are also nice. I usually will use these for formal wear and then use these for everyday wear, but these are super cute. And then in the eyeliner section, depending on how you download this, it might be in all of the sections like mine, but I usually like to put on my nose highlight in the eyeliner section, just because. No specific reason. And yeah, I'll kind of go for this peach, I don't know, just a more yellow tone, not as white, because it kind of shows up a little too harsh for my liking. And I will bring the opacity down just so that it's not as dramatic. And yeah, I think that's how we gonna do it. That's how we gonna do it, y'all. And then usually I'll go back to the blush section and put on these baby hairs. Now I don't actually know what hair color we're gonna go for, but I know it's probably gonna be on the darker end, so I'm just gonna make her baby hairs darker, like that. So yeah, I actually do like this hair color on her now that I'm looking at it, but we might adjust it a little bit. But yeah, I pretty much completely do the face before I even do the body or the hair or anything. So yeah, but after we do the face and all that, then I like to pick a nice hairstyle, and then we'll adjust her hair color and all of that. So let's see, what hair hairstyle am I gonna choose? Okay, you guys, after looking forever, I finally found a hair color or a hairstyle I like. So we can kind of adjust her hair a little bit. I'm just gonna make it like, I guess, a little bit more brown, like the roots, and then everything else can be darkened up, but I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit actually. Let me do some adjusting to my liking. I'm like, do I like that? I think I do. I think that looks pretty good. I really love this hairstyle. It's so pretty. Very much so looks good on her. So I'm gonna match the root color to her eyebrows and then darken them again just to make sure they look good together. She is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love her. But after I do the hair and makeup, I will usually go to the swimwear and just put her in her swimwear so we can edit her body. So let me take off those. Where's the eyelashes? So yeah, I'll usually make them a little bit thicker. It's gonna be more dramatic with the body slider thing on, and then I won't really mess with that. I'll bring up her like muscle definition slightly and just bring the breasts up a little bit, not too much, just a tad bit. And then if you go to the mouth section, this is where all the body sliders that come with my sliders will be. And I will usually bring the waist down. I like to make my Sims curvy or like slim thick, either one. I'll also bring the shoulder width up a little bit, and then I will slightly bring up the posture just a tad bit. Then if you scroll up to the leg width, I like to bring the leg width up quite a bit. Also with the hip size, I will also bring up quite a bit. And then I will bring the calf down just so that's lowered. And then I will like to bring the butt shape up a lot because I like my Sims to have a big butt. And also bring up this butt slider. Just bring up both of them until it looks how you like it to look. And then I am going to bring her weight up just like barely. Like, I think that should be good. She is looking so freaking gorgeous. Like, oh my god. Now for the outfits, I have so much CC, you guys. If you want to get some of the CC I have in my game, everything that you will ever see in my game, 99.9% of it is on my Tumblr page. So please go look on my Tumblr because I recently have redone my, well, not recently, but within the last year, I redid my CC folder with everything from my Tumblr page. So yeah, but I'm gonna give her like a top and jean combo. So I'm gonna like look for a cute top for her to wear. Like, there's so many options. Okay, I really love this top. Super cute. Let me see, maybe if I make it like maybe like that color, I'm gonna save that, and then I'll give her some cute jeans to go with her outfit. Okay, I went ahead and changed her top and then gave her these jeans, and I really love it. And then as for the shoes, I'm probably just gonna give her some Converse because I love to have my Sims wearing Converse. So let me see if I can find them. Okay, these look cute. There were another like low cut Converse I was actually thinking of. Oh my gosh, I have too many shoes. Way too many shoes, y'all. Oh my gosh. Don't download as much CC as me. It's too much. You get lost in CAS because of how much stuff is in here. Okay, I couldn't even find the Converse that I was looking for, but now that I think about it, I think those were only for boys. So moving along to accessories. Since her hair is covering her ears, I'm just gonna go ahead and give her a necklace. So let's go ahead and find a cute necklace for her. I personally love like dainty jewelry like this. I think it is so cute. So yeah, we're gonna go with that. And then there are also some nails I like to use. Recently I have been loving these, like the shorter ones. I usually keep them white too, and I just think that is super duper cute. I love her outfit and everything. But yes, you guys, that is pretty much it for our sim. She is so pretty. Like, she actually turned out way better than I thought she would. So yes, you guys, if you did find this helpful and enjoyed it, please make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, she will be up for download for all of you lovely people. So thank you so much for watching. And all the links and everything will be down in the description. And as always, have an amazing day, you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye! Thank you so much to my channel members for supporting the channel. If you'd also like to become a member, all you have to do is hit the join button or click the link in the description. All members get custom emojis, loyalty badges, access to a private Discord channel, and roles, plus a shout out at the end of each video. Diamond members get all of that plus member only videos. Thank you all so much for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.